Hey y'all, welcome back to the Dancing Italian Urban Farm, or welcome if you are new. My name is Leslie, and today, well, we're just prepping for the week. So I'm starting here by making some rolls. It is based off of a German Brötchen recipe. Um, I will link the recipe that I used below. I did modify it slightly, but this was an experiment, so I'm not going to go into my modifications yet because I'm going to play around with it a little bit more. But I will link the recipe I based my recipe off of for you in the description below. Um, for those of you who don't know, my father was in the United States Army and we lived in Germany for 2 tours. So I spent a lot of my childhood in Germany. And one of my favorite things to eat in Germany was their bread, their brötchen, their rolls. They were so good. So that is what I'm trying to recreate here. And like I said, I'm experimenting a little bit, trying to incorporate some sourdough into the recipe. The rolls turned out beautiful. They were tasty. They were delicious. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm also going to make some potato salad. So, I'm just getting my potatoes started here. I used the very small petite potatoes to boil those up for my potato salad. And now I'm going back to my rolls here and adding salt and oil. And I don't even remember what else. I'm going to mix it all together. Like I said, I'll link the recipe for you down below. And then after you mix it all together and make sure that it has the right consistency, I had to add more flour. But like I said, I am experimenting. And there I go, making a mess, as per usual. Y'all, it's okay to make messes. It really is. I promise. Get in your kitchen and play around with stuff and make a mess. You're going to clean it up anyway, right? So don't feel guilty about leaving a mess. Anyway, since I was experimenting with adding with using some sourdough, I experimented with how much flour I had to add. Now I'm going to get out. I'm fighting with the drawer here, guys. I'm getting out my rolling mat as a basically like a flour sack material, flour cloth. It was my grandmother's, and so I like to use it when I bake. And I'm just going to flour it and then put my bread dough out and knead the ever beloved bejesus out of it. You want to knead it until it's smooth. So I don't have a KitchenAid mixer yet. I'm working on it, gang. I'm working on it. I'm so excited. Um, I will say thanks to the Budget Mom system, my birthday is going to be a very happy one this year. Anyway, I am just going to knead this. I'm going to need some more flour in it because it was still quite a bit sticky. Um, and it needs that bread needs that structure and stability of the proteins in the flour. That's why you have to knead it, because you need to activate the gluten in the flour. So, yeah, just kneading away. It's a good arm workout, by the way, if you need to do arms, but you also need to bake bread. Just use the kneading as your arm workout. Anyway, once I get it to where I like it, I'm going to oil this bowl. I got this new little gadget at the grocery store, so I don't have to keep buying the aerosol cans. I like it. I like it. I like it. So far, I like it. And then I'm just going to get cleaned up here, and we're going to move on to the next thing, which is we're going to check our potatoes. See if our potatoes are ready to come off the stove. But I'm going to clean up first. and wash some dishes, apparently. Because you might as well clean as you go so you don't have a big mess to clean up when you're done and you're tired. That's a smart thing to do. Anyway, now I'm going to check my potatoes. I'm just going to take a little fork to see if they're fork tender. And then I'm just going to go and drain them in the sink. And I'm going to let them cool off in the sink for a little while so I can make my potato salad without the potatoes being too hot. Now I am putting away some homegrown coriander that I just pulled out of the garden. And I'm just putting it in this jar that was already labeled coriander. Look at that. Then I'm going to dump my potatoes in a container and add some salt. And then I'm going to add some avocado oil and apple cider vinegar and mix that together. And then I am going to add some rosemary. This is rosemary I grew in my garden and I dried myself. I'm just going to get my mortar and pestle out and grind that up a little bit so that it's not so, rosemary can be kind of, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to mix that in, put my lid on, give it a little shake, and then set it off to the side. Now I'm going to make my dressing for my slaw, which again starts with avocado oil, apple cider vinegar, salt and pepper, and then a little Dijon mustard. And then I'm going to put my slaw mix in a bowl and top it with my dressing. I do also add some kale. I have some kale in my refrigerator that I had gotten at Aldi, and I am trying to use it in as many things as I possibly can so that I eat it. So I'm going to add it to the slaw, and then I'm going to get that mixed up, and I'm going to get the potato salad and the slaw in the refrigerator so they can kind of marinate and everything. And we're going to have these for dinner the next day after the day I filmed this, because my husband's going to grill hamburgers. We're going to have hamburgers and potato salad and slaw, and I may throw together some beans with barbecue sauce. All right, now I'm going to go back to finish up my rolls. I've got my baking sheet here. I'm going to put some parchment paper on it. I'm going to dump my dough out, and then I'm going to divide it into 12 pieces. I did wind up having to spray my blade just so that it wouldn't stick to the dough because the dough was rather sticky. I think I probably should have added a little bit more flour, but it's all good. I'm just going to divide this up into 12 pieces that are of about equal size. Then you're going to let them rise till they're double inside. Put an egg wash on them. Bake them at 450 degrees for about 15 to 20 minutes, and they come out delicious. I am so pleased with how this recipe turned out. I want to play with it a little bit more, but once I get it perfected, I will share it with y'all. I promise. All right, guys, that's all I have for you today. Please make sure that you give this video a thumbs up. Click that subscribe button if you haven't already. Leave any comments or questions you have for us in the comments section, and I'll make sure that I get back to you as soon as I possibly can. All right, bye, y'all.